Hello there and welcome to a wee chat. It's Friday night. Are you ready? Yes, I'm so excited. Guys, I'm sorry it's been so long since we've been off air. I took it off the air. It's been quite a ride these last 8 months, but I thought we would bring it back on the run up to Insomnia Games Festival because yes, it's official. We are coming back to Insomnia in April and it's going to be bigger and better than ever with amazing guests. Can't wait. Can't say anything. Cannot say anything. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, We Global. Thank you, We Global. Thank you, We Global. Thank you. All hail We Global. Can we please spam some We Global emotes out in the chat, please? Now, I'm not going to do the whole coming up thing because we already have this. A Wee Chat is back and better than ever, and we've got a jam-packed show for you this evening. You may recognise Mark Rowley and James Northcote from Netflix's The Last Kingdom, but they're here this evening to chat about their new project and Twitch channel, Nowalls. Our 400-year-old magical reindeer bud, Rudy, is back, but this time we're doing the problem solving in our new segment, Say What? YouTuber and friend of the stream, Stuart Ashens, joins us to chat about the year ahead, community and content. And finally, we're travelling to the Purple Planet to visit our house band, MamajoeVramajoe, to enjoy some purple melodies to end the show. Hell yeah. What a great lineup. And at the end of the show, I'll be telling you about the next show because I've already booked 2 incredible guests. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. I booked them last night. I'm like, yes. Oh, so excited. Okay, but before we get to Mark and James, we have a new segment on the show. Please welcome Tarot Cat.
Yo, my beautiful souls, Tarot Cat here with your weekend reading. This is a general reading, so take what you want, and if this don't resonate with you, get out of here! Today I'm asking, what you all gotta know? Now, let's shuffle the deck. Alright, we got the sun. When we get the sun, it means everything's all Gucci, but real talk, I feel like you've been bugging recently. You gotta calm down, stop fronting. Let's take a look. We got this naked baby on the horse. Looks okay, right? But this horse don't want no naked baby's dick on its neck. The sun is judging you, son. He knows something's up. That baby is you, kid. Get your dick off that horse's neck. Are you high? You tripping balls out here? Even the sun don't want to deal with your shit. I'm dead ass, bro. You gotta stop. Okay, let's pull a clarification card. Hold on, I got the shuffle. 4 of Cups. Check it. This kid's bugging. He's been offered free booze and he don't want any of that shit. He's sitting there on his ass sulking, bro. That's free booze, yo. Jeez. Right, let's pull this shit together. What you need to know. It's about balance. You don't want to drink, but you end up naked on this horse. You gotta bring it back. Remember what you got, and don't be tripping naked, pissing everyone off. Also, don't do drugs. Drugs are whack. So that's what I got for you. Remember to follow, subscribe, and all that shit. And Spirit says, yo, we out.
Thank you to Tarot Cat for that incredibly insightful reading. They say streaming is a form of madness. Okay. Fuck's sake. You know, there's a reason why my dad still doesn't really understand what I do. Maybe I should just send him this video. Okay, right. So, we're going to welcome our first guests on the show. Let's watch this clip and then welcome them.
a stream with two Scots talking about their family tartan when I just don't have the same roots, guys. I mean, I cling on to a tiny bit of Scottish heritage, like I don't know, like one of those birds on the side of the island of St Kilda, just clinging on to a cliff. That's me, clinging on, going, I can be a bit Scottish, can't I, as well? Please.
I'll get you some tartan. I'll get you some.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thank you.
He's going to give you some Macmillan tartan. You don't want that. You don't want the Macmillan tartan.
Hang on, is it Macmillan tartan? Oh, I'll pass. Thank you. Actually, I'll get myself some Royal Stewart.
Oh, burn that! I don't think I've ever heard a clan burn before on stream.
Your show and tell's a label maker. Can I expose you for the serial labeler that you are? I mean, you've already done that for yourself, but on set, literally everything you owned was labelled. Like literally everything, every bag, your laptop case, everything. Like, and it would have your phone number on it, your email address, just everything. Did you ever lose a single thing? I don't think so.
No, and then if the bag did go missing, then I'd be like, okay, all my details are on it, and people know where to put it. They put it in my trailer or whatever. Because things just get moved.
Incredible. Please welcome the wonderful Mark and James. There they are, everyone. Round of applause.
Hey.
They're back. Hello, friends. How did you feel watching the clips back? Because that's so fresh. That was like 2 days ago. How did you guys feel watching that back?
James?
You're muted, James. You're muted. we got.
Classy stuff.
It's just part of our beginning tradition. The first stream we ever did, we had like a mega echo reverb feedback nightmare to start the first, like, what was it, 5 minutes of the show? So that's just me referencing our humble beginnings.
Oh, okay, a callback. I like it. James, when we started that stream, what were your, because guys, we started the stream and James, like, I think James is a wee bit nervous. And when we had that technical problem, what was going through your head, James, at the time?
Well, I admitted to you guys on the last stream that I actually love chaos when it's like, when in a live situation. Once I'm in the live situation, I love chaos maybe more than any part of being live. And so when that was happening, I couldn't have been happier. Like, I was nervous before the stream, but like as soon as things started going wrong on stream, I was like, I'm in my element. This couldn't be a better start for me.
What do you like, Mark? What are your first impressions of being a streamer? Because you're a streamer now. You're both streamers now. This is it.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, oh yes.
James like, oh. How did you feel, Mark, about being a streamer? What's your first impressions?
Yeah, it's really fun. It's so engaging, and we love it, and that's why we kind of started Nowalls. But before we go to that, can I just say how wonderful Tarot Cat is? So I don't know if you know Tarot Cat, but if you just want to pass on some, good vibes. There's so many questions. There's so many questions I have for that cat.
or the person behind the cat. Therapy.
It reminded me of, like, it was a mix between like an anonymous like video and like something from like David Cronenberg's Videodrome.
Do you know what? That is high praise, because I am a huge Cronenberg fan.
Actually, I feel that, and I see you.
Yeah, I see you, James. I see you too. I like anything that's very weird, and I think if you're going to lean in, you might as well lean in all the way. So, like, and it's Tarot Cat will get stranger, I'm sure.
Oh yes,
I'm so glad to hear that.
Would Tarot Cat ever interview someone or do like a live kind of like reading?
If Tarot Cat can keep up with whatever that accent is. Because there was a lot of things.
Yeah, New York, definitely. If a cat from New York became like what do you call them? A fortune teller, yes. And got very large and can stand upright, that boom is nailed.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
are you telling me that Tarot Cat isn't a native New Yorker?
I mean, of course, yeah, they're from Brooklyn, clearly.
Right, yeah, that's what I was getting.
From the back streets. I mean, Tarot Cat was doing like readings behind the bins or the trash cans. That's how they got their start. You see, that's how they got their start. And there they are. God, oh God. I was watching James and Mark's faces in the Discord chat as it was happening. I was like more interested in there, and Mark was like,
I loved it. I loved it.
So now you're a streamer, Mark. Like, and you've seen Tarot Cat. You've been on stream yourself. We've done show and tell. We've got the Discord set up. Like, what's your impressions then? How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's very welcoming.
Yeah,
I think, that's what James and myself were. Well, we're trying to develop something where actors, entertainers, people can come on and they can really get to know their community. Hence the kind of no walls, breaking down barriers, if anything, building bridges. But we've started now, James. Started now. It's not a construction site, but you know what I mean. It's all about connecting with each other, like true connections, and having a laugh, and sharing who we are, and vice versa. Where James, you said it really nicely actually about the social media. Some things are just lost on social media. Try to share a bit of yourself, and it's just perceived different, or it just doesn't work the same way.
no, it doesn't.
But maybe.
It doesn't. I mean, James, like, I could see the other day, you said on stream, I think you asked the chat, and you went, hey, would people watch me, develop photos? I could see maybe some ideas starting to form. Do you have some ideas about where you might take it, maybe doing solo IRL streams and things like that?
Yeah, well, as Mark was saying, I think that the beauty of streaming is it's just such a creative place, or it's become such a creative place. It's become a place that's both, there's so much space for like chaos and like playfulness and a bit of madness, and just people to like you say, like, fly your freak flag high if you want to. You can just, but you can't. It seems like on stream people manage to be themselves in a different way than they definitely do on social media. Social media is, it can feel so curated, so controlled, so contrived, and to add to what Mark was saying, it felt like streaming was a place where people were and are making actual quite sort of genuine connections, and communities are really building on here. And so I think we were like, let's see if we can make something here that connects fan communities, artists, actors, people who make stuff, and try and create just a kind of big sort of circle of creativity and like fun and playfulness and madness that includes everyone, and where everyone can kind of be themselves and also feel safe as well. Because I think that's another thing that I think is kind of amazing, that particularly streamers like you, Claire, like, I think you create a really like a place where people can feel confident and themselves and feel like they can express themselves, which a lot of the internet doesn't manage to achieve that. And yeah, for sure there are so many things that we want to do, because I think we all just want to be able to give a glimpse of the stuff that we're really into, that sometimes you don't get to just I'd love to just spend the afternoon streaming me just fiddling around with some chemicals and some film, and just like or going out on a shoot in the middle of nowhere and just doing IRL stream from there, and just be like, look, this is the view that I'm shooting, or this is the people I'm doing some portrait photography with, or whatever. And I think it's the same from on set. I think it's the same for like the projects that we do. I think there's a real opportunity for everyone just to get a glimpse into everyone else's creative interests, projects, and work as well.
100%. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Obviously we all work jobs where there's a structure, there's a script, or whatever it may be, and I love it, and I love the environment. I love working in teams. However, I wanted to ask you guys, like, when it comes to your personal, creative, chaotic, whatever, weird side, like, that's the side I find the execs, the producers, the people that are higher up, they're harder to convince. It's like nobody really, they want creativity, but they want it packaged with a nice, neat bow, because they assume that everyone wants the same thing. And I don't think audiences are stupid. I think audiences want something different. Would you agree, Mark, or how do you feel about that? Like, what gets put out there versus real not that that's not creative, but real weird creativity?
Well, I suppose we're quite lucky in a way because I mean, James and myself, we are quite creative, and when it comes to just acting work or whatever, then we're able to use that as an outlet. So we can use that creativity and put it in there. And so the weirdness and whatever we create, the different version that we do of the scene, people go, oh my God, that was interesting or different. Yeah. That was great. And so it's quite liberating.
Sometimes they go, please stop what you're doing.
Yeah, there is that actually. There definitely is that.
Both of us.
And then you do another weird thing, and then eventually you hit one thing and it's right. But yeah, so we've got that outlet. But I mean, in general, for big ideas, I think people are just nervous, you know? But you need courage. Life and art, you know, courage is everything, and being bold. I think there's all that phrase just in general is just be bold in life. I'm trying to remember, some Roman said it, James. Do you know? Something about being bold. Something about, and it wasn't a boulder. I don't, but oh God, it escapes me. Does someone in the chat know? Something about being bold.
Does someone in the chat know? That's what we
someone
want to
in
know.
the chat can tell us whether it's like, what is it, Seneca or like Quintus Aurelius or
some Roman,
some Latin.
Do you know where it comes from? And I don't mean to do this segue, but because we've been talking about Total War recently,
right.
The Rome Total War, when you wait for the game to load up, it comes up with a little proverb or a little saying. And I remember that being one of it, something about being bold. I hope it's not bloody and bold, because it's a bit too violent.
People say that gaming is a waste of like young people's lives. Like Mark Rowley just comes straight on here and just proves the educational potential and power.
Some Roman olden times. Beautiful.
That's something over. It looked like a towel. They had a towel over him, just at the shower.
He was just out the shower. Had these wee leaves in his head. His wee leaves. Yeah, I mean, like, his wee leaves. You know, wee sandals. It was quite warm as well that day.
Always walking around with olives. Oh, I don't even know why.
It's what they love an olive, so they do those Romans, eh? What they like.
That smooth skin.
Oh my God. Like, I think, but the thing is, like, James mentioned Cronenberg earlier. And, like, you get those, like, weirdos in film and TV or whatever that do push through sometimes. And, like, Cronenberg's one, I would consider Verhoeven to be one as well. Verhoeven's definitely got is an absolute definitive style as well. And I can think of a lot of comic book artists, comic book writers and graphic novelists and things like Charles Burns, who's, like, the Cronenberg of the graphic novel world. Like, you gotta, I'll send you some links, you guys.
Yeah, please.
So sometimes it pushes through. And I think you're right about being bold. You know, so I will say this to you guys. I'll start with James. Like, in 2023, like, how do you want to be bold creatively? That's a really big question. I do apologize. But how do you feel you want to be bold? Just get out there and do your thing.
Oh, what a big question. I genuinely think, and this isn't me just trying to bring it back to Nowalls, although I'm on brand. I think for me, Nowalls is a really bold experience for me because it is such it's an experiment in being directly myself as much as possible, just out there, and that I think that's a big challenge for me because I'm pretty sure that I got into acting to an extent to be able to play characters so that I didn't have to be myself like all the time. And the frustrating thing about that is you realise quite quickly as an actor that in order to be good at it, you have to use loads of yourself and be yourself a lot of the time, of course, in order to be any good at it. But yeah, I think actually like just being myself open in front of other people, that for me is quite a bold act and something that I kind of want to make a creative thing, not just simply, you know, just a personal thing that I probably need to work through. So I think so Nowalls is kind of part of that. It's about trying to create not authentically, but just like honestly, and just like go for it, rather than constantly be like, oh, but should it be a bit more like this, or should it be a bit more like that? Well, people like that more or this more, and have that kind of exec voice in your head that sometimes you do to yourself as well, as have done to you by, you know, other people who are kind of trying to shift you in one direction or the other. So yeah, for me, whatever direction Nowalls takes, because I think there are so many ways that it's going to morph and change and become this, hopefully this space where just a lot of different things can happen, and just going with the flow of that for me, I think is my bold. It's my bold vision for 2023.
That's interesting you say that, James, because I am on the same journey in the opposite way, because I've always had to be a fair version of myself, I guess, for being a presenter. So this is I mean, I'm an introverted grumpy bastard. That's the real version, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But like, this is still me, so this is still me. But like doing acting, like, as something I've always loved to do, but I was scared of, because I felt like I'm pretending, like, and that felt hard. But now so now I'm trying to go the other way from where you're going. I'm like, no, I'm going to like put myself into this in a different way. So that for me, it's interesting. Like when I speak to actors, they go, oh no, I don't want to be myself. But also I find that, and then playing music, I can't, like, that feels very exposing to me as well, because that feels like a part of my soul. It feels like a really wanky thing to say. Like, no, it's true. Like it does. It feels like you're really bearing yourself. So I've practiced a lot on stream singing and playing, but yeah, it's hard. Like, what about you, Mark? What's your big bold move? What's your big bold move in 2023? Yeah, go on, suckers, go on.
Bold moves. Well, I suppose what I've realised, I suppose it's not necessarily a bold move. It's more, if I was going to make it's clarity, and it's using the energy well. So it's taking that boldness and then it's using the energy of life well. Because so many times we can do too many things, and then we don't make enough time for the things that we like and love. I think that is important. So I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to take that bold energy. I'm going to try and convert it somehow into something about organisation in my head, to be like, okay, I am going to try and do something nice. Like, for example, I realised, and this, James, I wonder if you had this, surely you must know friends like this as well, people that are working a lot when acting for us, and it happens with comedians, it happened with my friend who's a stand-up comedian, we do something for a hobby and then it becomes a job. And then we go, oh my God, the relationship changes with it. So I suppose one thing I was thinking of doing is giving myself a hobby this year. Oh. And I've always talked about salsa dancing because I've done 7 lessons and I had so much fun. I loved it. Oh, mate, it's so good. James, you need to come along. And so Zoe, my partner, she got me salsa lessons, and she got me a lesson with one of London's best salsa dancers at Pineapple Dance Studio. Oh. So I'm like, yes, this is amazing. But it's not Louis Spence. It's not Louis.
Okay.
And it's not me either.
Oh, yeah, I'm pointing at you.
Sorry to disappoint you.
That sounds so fun. Oh my God. I've been thinking about, I watched Dirty Dancing over Christmas, and I was like, I want to dance. I thought,
yeah, it's great.
I want to dance, man, but I'm terrible.
Everyone should dance.
I want to dance. The salsa
Have you done
good.
Zumba? Have you done Zumba?
No.
Any of you done Zumba?
No.
You'd love Zumba. It gets such a bad rep of it being for older people, and that's just a lie. There's a guy who he's like Zumba king. Okay. He doesn't speak a lot of English, but you don't have to, because dance is the language, the international language. You just need to copy him, and it's hard.
Oh, I want to do it. I just don't want to, I don't know. I'm kind of get self-conscious going to classes on my own, so I always get a bit in my head about it. I'm fine when I'm there and it's fine, but I have too much before thoughts, because I kind of have the kind of social anxiety thing that takes over me, and I'm like, oh, don't want to look stupid kind of thing, but I want to do it. I want to do ballet or something. Yeah. Really and not look like a little house goblin, which is how I feel most of the time. I wanted to talk more about Nowalls. Let's talk about Nowalls. So we've had 2 streams. So we've got Arnis and Yeppe on next week, right? And we're playing Total War. But I wanted to ask you guys, because when you took it to me and you were like, Claire, we want to do this thing, community-led, blah, blah, blah. Now that you're in it, we've only done 2 streams, but you're in it. Where are you going with it? Because I know it changes when you start it. all the ideas start. I mean, I'm doing freaking Tarot Cat. I mean, come on, you guys. So, like, where are you going with it? Like, what do you want to do with it? Have you got any ideas, James? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm really excited that on Tuesday, was it 17th, right? We're doing our first game stream because I don't know, like gaming seems to me to be a really important part of it. Actually, I haven't said this to you, Mark, but I realised that both of us, while we've been on set together, like a lot of the ways that we keep in touch with our family or like our close family is through gaming. And I hadn't kind of realised, like, I know you game to like keep in touch with family. I game to keep in touch with family. I don't know, because it's sort of it's an easy way to have like a long form conversation with someone without being like, you're on the spot. What's going on? Tell me. Condense it. You can just, you just play and you talk. And so I'm really excited about getting that started on the channel, because I just know that that's partly why we started. Another reason why we started it is that I always think that gaming brings people together. I know that it brings like our friends together, and I think it's going to bring both friends and fans together in a really fun way. And I can't wait to start to see that starting to happen. And I can't wait for the first time we bring a fan on or someone from the community to game with us as a group. Like, I think that's going to, and then hopefully just keep widening that circle out. I think that's going to be so much fun.
Yeah,
just
man.
big group games.
Oh, I'm so excited. What about you, Mark? Like, what are your? I mean, you're the ideas machine. I mean, every time we talk, it's like, oh, by the way, Claire, James, and there's something else, and it's great. I live for it. So, what have you got any more ideas, Mark? Hit us with them.
Yeah, well, really, it's about. I want to get to know the fans, especially the fans of Last Kingdom, because I find them fascinating. It's so strange when you go to conventions and they're asking questions about us, and I'm like, mate, you're a brain surgeon. Oh, please tell me about this. This is so interesting.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think when you open someone's brain? Like, do you still talk, or like, what do you talk about? Like, do you know, I don't know. Just there's so many questions. And there's lots of people out there. So yeah, for me, it's about finding out about others, because that's what I find fascinating for sure. Oh, James, I was thinking, imagine, right? Because you're totally right with games. When you start playing a game, you just start chatting. And there was a documentary, was it on Sky or whatever, a couple of years ago, where it was some murderer. They were interviewing a murderer. And he was denying it, and then he left his microphone on, and he went into the bathroom and I did it. Maybe that's
one of the biggest documentary spoilers I've ever heard in my entire life.
Sorry.
Don't say the name of the documentary. That is a great. I love. That ending, and I guess I see what you're saying is, and hopefully there won't be loads of murderers on the stream that we're getting to let their guard down, and that they're then admitting to murder, but.
I like the idea of lulling them into a false sense of security, and then go, got you.
Nowalls is actually a government agency. We're an arm of the intelligence services, which we're actually just pinpointing very specific people.
We're like really goofy James Bonds, basically. We're like really kind of crap James Bonds. So, do you like pineapple and pizza? Cool, murderer.
Or just straight away after a couple of dumb questions, just straight in with did you do it? And just did that throw him? They've signed off. Okay.
I love pineapple and pizza, and I love Total War. Yes, I'm a murderer. Shit. Oh my god.
We're on here to investigate Tina. I've heard a lot of things about Tina.
You know what? Tina divides the audience. Some people hate Tina, right? And they find her creepy. But there are certain people that really like Tina quite a lot, and that freaks me out quite a lot as well. Like oh my god, there's people that come in and go, oh my god, I just want to see Tina, and you're like, oh, do you now? Like, lovely, great. I don't know even how it came about. You guys need to get voice changers. I'm telling you, it will change Nowalls. Like, you'll have to get like the voice things. I'm telling you, it's like amazing. So in terms of like going forward into the future, Okay, with Nowalls, doing the games, okay, and like doing the chats. Do you see Nowalls becoming a regular, semi-regular kind of thing? You know, because we all have like very busy schedules, you know, and that's always going to be the problem, because sometimes I can't stream on my own stream, sometimes for weeks. So where do you sort of see that? Like, because I'm sure already the community are really galvanized and they love it, and it's already really
They're
great.
Amazing.
So we can't stop.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's, you know, we're locked in, you guys.
Can't stop.
We can never stop, guys. We're here.
None of us can stop. Okay.
No, we're here forever. Okay. Like, this is our life now. So what do you think?
We've been talking about this a lot, and I suppose it's all about, and James, you said it really well earlier, it's all about bringing people on to the community. So the good thing is we work with other actors all the time. I know quite a lot of the guys on Witcher and Outlander and all these other projects, and we all go into are filming different things just now, like currently, and we know that these actors don't really have an outlet to connect properly with their fan base.
Oh.
So this is what we want to provide, is for people to come on and then go, hey, right, who this is me, who are you? And break down that wall in a fun and safe environment.
I think,
and it's creative and to have fun. Just like your channel's so fun. Like, and you know, just to change things up and be creative and celebrate collectively about being creative.
100%. And that's the thing, like, I think James is frozen, by the way. For anyone who doesn't like James, I can see James is sort of, he looks very serene on my Discord here, but he's frozen. I've just asked if he's still there. I kind of, you know what, like, this is the thing that I think has changed about, okay, so when I was younger, I don't know if you're going to agree with me, Mark, but when I was younger, I would watch actors and TV shows and film, and I would be like, wow, and I'd be a fan of their work.
Yeah.
It's so changed now. Now it's communities. So I don't even really use there are fandoms and fans and things, but I don't even sort of really use that anymore, because now it's about community, and that's way more powerful because people feel that they can really get connected and get in touch. And I think you really hit the nail on the head. I think it's hugely important. I mean, especially with the Last Kingdom fans. How have you found the Last Kingdom fans? Like, from the start of the show to now, like, what was your feeling when you started to now? Like, what kind of people are they?
They are so unbelievably supportive. We are very, very, very lucky. Yeah, very engaging and a good laugh. Like Arnis and myself on the show, someone's created a flat billboard copies of us that they take around the place, around the world. I think of Flat Finnan. And Finnan goes to better places than me. I'm like, oh my god, this is insane.
Amazing. Amazing.
It's so funny. But honestly, everyone is great. But that's why we want to keep that connection, because the show is coming to an end with the movie coming out.
Yes.
And that's what we're building towards, is some sort of a celebration to say, you know what, thank you so much for all the support. Because a lot of the times we don't get the opportunity to say thank you to everyone, you know, because without the viewers, they wouldn't do the show again, you know. So that, I think I would say that's something that we are building towards, you know. It's something to give back to the community.
I like that idea of bringing people on from different fandoms and different communities as well, and going, here, this is a wee place that and then those communities connect together. And I would have loved something like that growing up, because I was such an isolated teen in my room, like playing, you know, guitar, writing songs about how boys didn't like me. You know, I was a real friggin' stereotype. So I didn't have all of that, you know, because I didn't have the internet and things. I mean, like, James, what kind of fan were you growing up? Would you have loved something like this growing up if you were a teenager?
Well, I think I've already... Oh, no, I haven't admitted this to you. Actually, I must have admitted it to you, Mark. I wasn't allowed to watch... I'm sorry, Mum and Dad. I wasn't allowed to watch TV as a kid. So I was only allowed to watch VHSs that they had like built like a kind of a collection of, and so I could only be a fan really of things that were maybe like 10, 15 years out of date. So I'd go into school and I'd be like, guys, have you seen this show Muffin the Mule? This show Muffin the Mule that's on television. It's this old, it's in black and white, and there's this old lady who plays the piano, and there's a puppet on the piano and sings. And they're like, no, we've been watching Power Rangers or Teletubbies or something, you know, that the actual kids watch. And so I don't think I really got to be like a fan of anything until I was a massive Tolkien fan, like a massive Lord of the Rings fan.
Same, man.
So when those films came out, like I was a big fan of those. Like one of those people, like I think like a lot of us here who watched all the behind the scenes, like all of the DVD extras, just devoured that stuff.
I skipped
and
uni,
then,
James.
and then
I
a bit with
skipped
the
uni
original
for
Star Wars,
that.
but again, I was
Oh my
watching them
God.
way out of date.
Hell yeah. Like Lord of the Rings, I was like big into like, so they came out when I was at uni. Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings is the first year of uni, and I'm aging myself terribly. I'm very old. I skipped uni. Like, I'm not going to say, no, I smoked I smoked some funny stuff with my friend, and then we went to go watch, don't do drugs, and then we went to Lord of the Rings. Actually, don't do that and watch Requiem for a Dream, because that's even worse.
No.
That's a really bad idea. Oh, it's very bad. But I went to see Lord of the Rings, and like I could not believe it, because I read The Hobbit when I was like 10, and then like Lord of the Rings, like James, man, like it was like a revelation. I was like, oh my God, I was like totally nerding out. I was like, oh my God, it's Gollum, oh my God, Sauron, oh my God, like I like could not believe it. It was incredible. And what about you, Mark? What were you a fan of when you were growing up? Like what were you into?
Well, can I ask a question for you two, because I love that you've got such a passion for Lord of the Rings. Can I ask just one question? What is there a moment, each of you, where in Lord of the Rings you just feel so euphoric, or a moment of wow, this is happening, like
Oh shit.
I don't know, and euphoric, or just a moment where it just lifts you?
Okay, I'll let James start, because I've got I think mine's a bit. I like messed up shit. So go on, James. Like I'm gonna let you go first. Yours might be nicer than mine. Go on.
So I grew up like deep in the middle of nowhere in the countryside. So I'm like, why do this is the noble problem. I start admitting stuff that I don't think I've ever admitted like to anyone alive.
Just wait till you play the game.
Oh no, what's going to come out? And so I was obsessed with like the wood elves and like the Ents and like all of the like Galadriel and all of like, I don't know, the kind of dark, twisted, sort of secretive factions in that, who were good but kind of not good, but are they good and not good? And my favorite two bits for sure in the films, but also kind of in the books, are where Frodo goes in to meet Galadriel and has that interaction with her, and she like reveals herself. Like I think in the film, like Cate Blanchett just absolutely it's one of the few things that we like, you couldn't have done anything better. Like there's no better version of that will ever exist. And so that moment, just that whole like interaction, I just think is wonderful. But then also it's when the Ents join the battle, because I'm like,
yes.
No, you're so ancient and special. Don't go to the war. But also, of course, you must go to the war because you're the Ents and you believe in justice, and because you're like the oldest creatures on the planet. And I don't know, that always makes me really emotional, because it feels a little bit like nature going, no, this has got to stop. And I don't know, this I feel like in our current like world, I always felt that still gets me, like this idea of like nature standing up and being like, no, this world's got to be a certain way, and we're gonna put it right.
See, James's answer is really good. Mine's a bit like metal, because I'm quite metal. I quite like the there's a scene I just like the way that it's filmed. So the Uruk-hai and all the baddies are getting ready to go to war, and I like the whole world, but I'm really interested in the baddies and the villains, and like I always think villains are always I find the most interesting, and sort of like the way the camera pans through the underworld, and you see the fire, and it feels warm on your skin almost. You can feel the heat and the sweat, and they're like, one guy like sticks a helmet on this guy's head, like crushes it, and he's like, ah, and it's like this, yes, like, and I know you're not meant to root for them, but I'm like, yes, man, like I like I like that murky underworld, and we saw a little bit more of it in Rings of Power, and which I really, really enjoyed. So I quite like that because it's quite metal and it's quite badass, and I could read whole like whatever's and watch whole films just about those guys. Like, so yeah, I quite like that. I thought for the time as well, if we think it's like 23 years ago or something, my God. Oh, yuck.
Oh yeah. Oh what?
I know. Mark was a wee babby. He was just a wee babby. He was a wee babby. We've established on the Nowalls series he's a very young man. He's just a wee babby.
Okay, I was very young.
He was very young.
My popcorn.
He was like, he's eating his porridge. He's like,
A wee mini Frodo. Just looking up.
this. Guys, we've run over quite a bit, but I wanted to say thank you very much, guys. Is there anything? So for the next stream, we've already talked about Arnis and stuff, but let's reiterate it again. Mark, tell us, Tuesday, you're the promo man. Let's go.
Okay, so we have Arnis coming up with the first one. Then we have Yeppe coming in. This is basically, we're trying to get as many cast members in as possible up until the movie comes out. So, and that even includes, we're trying to get the main man himself on at some point. So hopefully, cross fingers, that can happen. So yeah, we're trying to get everyone on, just to connect with the fan base. And that's it, really. One of the big ones I would say I'm really looking forward to is Burns Night, which is a Scottish celebration, the poet. Oh, James, I can't wait for it. It's going to be so fun. So Toby's coming on as well, Toby Regbo, from Last Kingdom and Reign. And he loves poetry. Arnis loves poetry. James, you love poetry. You study
poetry
in Cambridge and all this. Yeah, and I can't wait for it because what we're going to do is, Claire, you're going to be there. I believe.
Well, yes.
Hopefully.
I hope so, because I'm the one in control of the stream. There's going to be no stream unless I start.
I'll be a Zoom set.
A wee Zoom panel. Yes, I will be there too. I will. I'm thinking about doing the poetry as a character that you might have seen.
So it's just to tell everyone what we're thinking of doing is we are going to set challenges for each other. So we set challenges for each other, and then we have to create a poem. So, if, for example, I ended up taking a picture of there was a bench that had fallen over in the wind. So I could send, let's say my person was Arnis. I have to put together pictures, images, and words that I want to be in the poem, and he has to use that as inspiration. So it could be the bench that was fallen over, and I could call it Broken Dreams, and there could be, I don't know, a picture of a flying horse, and somehow he has to piece all this together and put it in a poem.
Beautiful. Love it. It's going to be really chaotic.
Robbie Burns is going to be so proud.
I'm here for it.
We'll do some Robbie Burns poems, obviously, but yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Shit, I'm nervous. All I can do, I keep saying it, all I can do is an A-B rhyme scheme. So just do not expect anything more or less from me. And that's it. I'm thinking about doing it as Thirsty Tina. I don't know. We'll see.
Yes, please. And don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's going to be in the stream? You guys, and who else? Who is it again?
Toby and Arnis.
Toby and Arnis for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And then who knows? Who knows? It's Nowalls.
Yes, exactly.
Anything is possible.
Exactly. So guys, please go follow Nowalls, and also go follow Mark and James on Instagram as well. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure streaming with you and working with you and chatting with you and collaborating. Honestly, I've had like the best time so far. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much.
We're very, very, very much having the best time of our lives.
It's all good. Guys, say goodbye to these guys. We've got Rudy, the reindeer, the 400-year-old reindeer coming up next. I hope you guys are staying for this. Guys, everyone say goodbye. to James and Mark. We'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.
See ya.
Yes, man. Love them. God, but stay here because we have Rudy, our 400-year-old reindeer pal in the studio. Yes, Rudy is back, you guys. And if you don't know Rudy and you don't have the emotes, then you better spam them out now because without further ado, we're going to go straight into it. And then we've got Ashens coming up. Let's go.
Say what?
Okay, all right, let's go. Guys, it's Rudy, everybody. There he is. Applause, everyone. Spam out the Rudy emotes. Yes. Rudy, how the heck have you been, my friend?
Well, I've been good, Claire. Yeah, you know, we just finished that really busy period of the year in December, and Santa had us working pretty hard, but we're on break now, so that's great.
That sounds amazing. So you're on a break, but do you have any plans, Rudy?
Well, you know, me and Santa's head elf Daniel, we were thinking on going on a boys' holiday. Daniel said, well, he said he wants to get laid, but I don't know why he'd want to go on holiday just to lay down and go to sleep.
Rudy, I don't really think that's what he meant by going. I don't really think that's what he meant, Rudy. I'm not sure that's what
Oh,
he meant.
really? I mean, say what? Well, then what does he mean, Claire?
I don't know. Okay, you know what? Never mind. You know, Rudy, we've got a lot to get on with. So let's just get on with say what. So forget that. Do you have a question for me, Rudy?
I sure do, Claire. And, well, it's a biggie, but I wanted to know. Where do you go when you die, Claire?
All right. I mean, that's a bit of a toughie, Rudy. That's a big question.
Well, it's just that Daniel, well, he was talking about this other elf in the workshop, Rick. Well, Rick's a bit of a prankster, and, he just loves to play tricks on us all, and I think he kind of gets to Daniel. Daniel told me the other day, he just wished that Rick would, bleep off and die, and then he kept saying how he wanted to, kill that guy. Kill that guy. Because he was such an asshole. Arsehole? Sorry. So I was wondering if Daniel did kill Rick, hypothetically, of course, where would he go?
Okay, so, all right, okay. Well, there are lots of different theories about where we go when we die. Okay, so here are some of them. So some people say that when we're good, we go to heaven. Some people say that when we're bad, we go to hell. But there are some people that say that we are reincarnated into something else. And others believe that there is nothing at all.
I've heard of heaven and hell, but what about this reincarnation? What's that?
Okay, all right, okay. So reincarnation, okay, that's when you come back as something else, and you can come back as anything at all.
Say what? Like I could come back as a naked mole rat?
I don't know, like, yeah, like, I mean, why would you come back as a naked mole rat? Why?
Mole rat, yeah. Well, I mean, they're pretty neat, clearly. They got these sweet front teeth that, they move independently like little chopsticks, and, they can survive lots of crazy conditions that humans can't. And they eat their own poop to maximize their nutrient uptake. So, they're pretty strong, and, you know, their little mole rat houses must be pretty clean, because they don't even need a mole rat restroom. They live poop-free, Claire.
Okay. Sure, I mean, all right, Rudy, I mean, you can be a mole rat if you want, but I I don't know. I kind of just feel like I didn't really answer your question, though.
No, you did, Claire.
Okay.
After death, we become mole rats.
I mean, that's not really, like, Rudy. That's not really what I said. What I did... No, I said that you could come back as anything. That's what I said.
I mean, I think we're destined to become mole rats, though, Claire.
Well, I don't really understand. Okay, I don't really understand how you came to that conclusion, but fine. I mean, fine.
Okay. There is no heaven or hell, Claire. Only mole rats. You see, the world is in despair. People are sick. They're at war. Governments no longer work, and this will not stand. We must stand together in the afterlife as one, as the mighty mole rats. You will no longer feel pain. You will no longer feel sadness. You will no longer need to poop. Join me in the mole rat uprising.
Rudy. Shh, Rudy.
Oh, what's happening? Oops. Sorry, Claire. I got a little carried away.
Okay, we do need to get on with the show, Rudy. There is a show happening. Did I actually answer your question?
You sure did, Claire. Thanks. I feel enlightened.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad, and I'm glad that I enlightened you. Okay, well, I suppose we'll see you next week, I guess.
Yeah, you sure will, Claire. Thank you. All hail the mole rat.
Okay, bye, Rudy, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Rudy. Okay, well, that was... There you go, that was Say What, everybody. Round of applause for Rudy. Round of applause for Rudy. Now, I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Please spam out all the emotes in the chat if you're enjoying the show. Please tell us what you think in the Discord as well. I really enjoyed the chat with Mark and James. Love the new Rudy segment. And please, most importantly, you gotta let us know what you think of Tarot Cat. That is very important. Most important. But without further ado, we've got a very special guest here. We do a podcast together, which we'll talk about as well. But please welcome Ashens after. No, actually, don't welcome him right now. Hold your welcoming for 3 minutes whilst we play this clip. We'll have him after this.
Dune. Oh, look, and the bits come off the side. Oh, let's come up. Let's come out. What's good? Yep. And, oh dear. And now, prepare yourself for a whole chicken in a can. Oh, hang on. The thing's stuck. That's not good. Here we go. Oh, marvellous. Any vegetarians in the house? What's that? All of you now? But they've gone for this bizarre superhero body with spotted boots. Like a space invader on his chest or something in that face. Oh, that face. There we are. There's your new wallpaper. What is going on? He just looks like he's walked in on his mother having sex with Hitler or something. Or maybe he's making this noise. Oh, let's hear the lamplight melody. I'm guessing the theme to Tetris. Bloody hell. Wasn't expecting that.
I've got an idea. You've seen the original Star Wars?
Yeah, of course I have. I've seen all the Star Wars films.
Now you remember when Luke and Han dress up in stormtrooper armor to rescue Leia from the Death Star?
Yeah.
We could do exactly that.
Hang on, mate. That's not the right holster for that blaster rifle.
Modern violin originated from Italian Craig Mona in 1600 to 1750 years to become the largest violin production centre. Italian Craig... Have they mixed up a place and a person? I'm going to have to look that up afterwards. That's going to annoy me.
You all right? Come on with me. You're all right, mate. I got you. I got you. Come on.
Sure? You okay?
Come on. Oh, no.
You don't look too
Oh.
The tentacle-headed things. There were too many.
I'm sorry.
Help me. Take this mask off. Let me look on you with...
With your own eyes, yes.
I'm dying here. I can approach whatever I like.
Sorry. You're quite obviously the famous actor Warwick Davis.
Yes. You may remember me from the Star Wars and Harry Potter franchises, as well as the popular 1988 fantasy film Willow.
But how can you be the Silver Skull?
Well, just put this mask on. It's not rocket science.
But you're the wrong height.
You don't have to be a certain height to wear a mask, you know.
No, I mean, the Silver Skull is tall, isn't he?
I'm an actor. It's called acting.
I mean, it's like a matter of physics, isn't it?
Also, got to be 5'7" to understand the basic principles of science now.
No, that's not what I meant at all. Crestfallen guy, help me out here.
Here, give me a hand up.
He's okay. He's looking good.
What? Oh, forget it.
Yes. I love Stuart. Here he is. It's Mr. Stuart Ashens. Sorry. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm all right, thank you. How you doing, Claire?
I am very, very, very good. Now, that was quite a while ago, looking at that. Like,
That was 10 years ago.
yes, it was quite a while ago. This year, though, just to remind you, I was going to say this year's 2023. Did you know that, Stuart? That it's 2023.
I'm glad somebody finally told me. I have to update all my bloody checks and things now. Oh.
Stuart, guys, Stuart's been, like, he was one of the first guests on a wee chat. So I thought for season 3, a couple of years later, we would have him back. And Stuart and I are now doing a podcast, Real Imagine Futures, together. But I wanted to ask Stuart, this is the big question. Let's just get the big questions out of the road first, right? What are you doing this year? What's going on? Like, what's happening?
So many things I haven't decided on yet.
What's
It's
happening?
going to be great. Well, we are for the 10th anniversary of Game Child, which I only just realised was 10 years, so it's not actually anything to do with that whatsoever. But from now on, I'll be lying and claiming it is. We're probably going to be looking at another film this year, I think.
Excellent.
Maybe not shooting it this year, but certainly getting everything together. Maybe we will shoot it this year. I don't know. It's only January, isn't it?
I know, but it's already mid-January, Stuart. It's already mid-January. I'm already panicking. Tell me, I don't want to ask too much about the film because I know that you won't be able to tell me. But can you give a genre? Can you tell me kind of like what kind of vibe it is?
Yeah, we're not. We want to do something else before we inevitably do Ashens 3 because we're obsessed with doing a trilogy. It's going to be a horror, I think.
Oh, okay, right. Let's delve into horror because, okay, here's the thing. Like when I met my ex 21 years ago, he was very into horror, and I was not. And over that 20 years, he just kept showing me watch this, and to the point that now I love it. Like, and I love horror. Like, it's one of my favorite genres. Event Horizon is one of my, because it blends sci-fi and horror together. Favorite. So, tell me, what kind of horror movies did you grow up with?
Oh, well, I wasn't really into it growing up massively, to be honest. I didn't watch much more than what would be an example? Something like Predator has some horror overtones, I suppose, but not the proper Bow horror stuff. It's something I got into much later. I think it was many years ago when the Japanese original version of The Ring, Ringu, I want to say, is that right? I don't know.
Yes.
Destroy me if not, chat. Came out. Somebody lent me a copy. I thought, watch this, and it kind of blew me away with just how bloody good it was. I hadn't seen something of that sort of weird psychological yet also supernatural and sort of weirdly spiritual backed films. Like, oh, I need to see more of these weird films. And then I got deep into it and I kind of have been ever bloody since. It's definitely become a thing, let's put it that way.
In terms of like Asian horrors, like South Korean and Japanese horrors, do you have like a favourite apart from Ringu that sort of stands out? Because I there's The Grudge and there's all those kind of famous ones, but like anything else?
I did really enjoy Train to Busan, although that, to be fair, that is probably another famous one. But my God, it's a massively entertaining film. There's one called Pulse, which is that's fairly well known, I suppose. I need to watch more of the East Asian horror, really. But Pulse had this very odd atmosphere to it that I've never seen quite replicated in anything else. That's something I really like from a horror films, the atmosphere.
Yes.
And they can be so disparate from one film to another. Like, I'm trying to think of an extreme example of atmosphere. Jean Rollin, the French sort of auteur filmmaker in that sense. I don't know how to describe him, because he also did hardcore pornography, so he was an interesting man.
Yes.
He had this sort of weirdly empty films he would make with incredible atmosphere. The ultimate example of which is probably The Iron Rose, which the entire story is two people go into a graveyard, 90 minutes pass and it ends.
Yeah.
Like, almost nothing happens through the whole film, but the atmosphere is astonishing. I mean, that's an extreme example. Perhaps if you do want to watch Jean Rollin, start with something like Fascination. Don't get into The Iron Rose immediately, because you'll just go and probably fall asleep, and understandably.
Have you seen Stuart?
I do love that weird feeling to it.
Oh, I when it comes to atmosphere, have you seen Audition? Have you seen Audition?
Oh my God. I have very, very. That was, I think, the next film I saw after Ringu. My God.
It's
That was
messed
the next
up.
one of that.
It's
Yeah, it's
very-
got a different feel to that one, isn't it?
It's like the first half of the movie is like, oh, what's this all about? This is lovely. It's poor lady in the sky, and then it just goes bang, like right in the middle, and you're like, whoa, okay, like guy in a no, I can't say anything. Just go watch it. I couldn't. That was one of the first horrors my ex introduced me to, and that
Just straight into Audition. Bloody
exactly.
hell.
But we were together for 20 years, and I wasn't phased. Look, Stuart, I'm not phased by the darkness. All right, not phased by the dark. But
I bet you couldn't be near a needle for a while afterwards, though.
That's that kind of that weird noise. It's horrible. But what about horror games? Stuart, do you like horror games, like video games?
Do you know, I've not played much in the whole horror game sort of genre, really. Bloodborne is my favourite, which again has horror overtones.
Okay.
I've done a few over the years. I remember staying up till 3 a.m. playing The Seventh Guest, which is hideously outdated by modern standards, and to be honest, is clunky and janky as anything else has ever been made. But as in a sort of hardcore, but describe to me a couple of proper horror games, and I'll see if I've played them or not.
Okay. So I'll describe sort of quite well-known ones, and then a small one that I think that we should play together, that we could easily play together. It'd be easy. Okay, so one of my favourite horror games I've ever played was Outlast 2. And Outlast...
Nope, not played it. I know of it, but I've not played it.
Outlast 2, pretty freaky. Now, a game that I think that we could play together would be Phasmophobia. That'd be easy. It's
I've
easy.
seen this. Have you streamed it in the past?
I streamed it in the past where you're just ghost
Yes,
hunting.
that's where I saw it, I think. Yeah.
Do you want to go ghost hunting with me? Should we do it?
Yes, let's do it.
Should we do it?
Now! No, not now, because we're doing another thing. But
Not now.
at some point.
But I'm going to warn you, right? I am someone who likes to stay in the van. I like to be in the van watching the CCTV. I don't want to be like, having the spirits come at me in a bathroom. I am in the van, girl. That's why but in a real...
You're going to Scooby-Doo it. Yeah.
I'm just going to be doing it. But in a real life situation, Stuart, like, if you were ghost hunting, would you be in the van? Would you be out there with like all the tools? Where would you be? What kind of person are you in a ghost hunting situation?
That's a good question. I reckon I'd probably be in the van in real life. I probably would. Probably because I'd be the one who had to take care of all the bloody technical stuff. I probably wouldn't have any choice now, actually. But, yeah, it seems a bit... Oh, God. I mean, if it was a real-life ghost hunt, as in an actual, proper reality, I don't think I'd be too worried due to the whole not believing in ghosts thing. So, yeah. But on the other hand, if you're in an old spooky place and it's dark and your torch goes out, it doesn't matter what you believe in, you're going to wet your pants. So, yeah, I'll probably stay in the van.
100%. So, okay, I'm going to say this. I thought I would stay in the van, but I did a job recently in October. It was for Intel, and they did this whole Dying Light activation where there were zombies, like not actual zombies, but people that look like zombies in this mansion, and they gave us guns, fake guns, and obviously, and we're running around like crazy. I thought I would be the scared one. I was out front, Stuart. I was very proud of myself. I was out front going, contact left, contact right. I was really, because you know what my thinking was? If something's coming at me, I want to see that shit first. I don't want to be at the back and get my foot gnawed off. So in a zombie type situation where you've got a gun in your hand, are you front, middle, or center? It's very important to me.
Oh.
Very important.
Front, middle, or... Hang on, front, middle, or center? What's the difference between the middle and the center?
Okay, so you got like the front where you're like, you're like seeing everything at once. The middle where you're like, okay, like perhaps the front dies and then you have to like take over quickly. So, sorry, the middle and the middle and back. I'm sorry.
Right. Yes.
Sorry. Then you're the back where they don't have a clue. They're just like.
Yeah. Oh.
So.
You don't want to be on the back, do you? Because it's like you say, you want to see what's coming. You don't want to be got from behind by Zombie Boy, do you? That's awful.
Exactly.
In the middle seems a bit safer, but equally. Oh, you might miss. Oh, that is difficult. Do you really want to be the one up the front?
Let me ask you.
It's going to be the most exciting, isn't it?
Are you a control freak?
No, not really.
Okay, I'd say you're middle or back. Okay.
Yeah, probably middle then. But I would much prefer to be in the front than the back, put it that way.
Okay, so Stuart and I are at the front with our guns. Contact left, contact right. I'm telling you, it was the best. It was like one of the best jobs I had last year. In terms of zombie films, are you a huge fan of the zombie genre?
Do you know, I'm not a big fan of the zombs in general.
Neither am I, yeah.
I like more of the sort of spooky psychological stuff or ghosty stuff. But there has been some good zombie stuff around I've seen. Train to Busan, which you mentioned earlier, is good.
Yes.
Oh, God, what's the name of that one? Bloody hell, I just thought of one and I've totally forgotten it. That's incredibly irritating. What was it? That was it. Zombie Flesh Eaters 2, I think it's called, also known as Zombie 3 and about 40 other things. Incredible. And it's this sort of really weird, slightly light-hearted take on it, and that was incredibly good fun.
Incredible. Now, a bit of a 360-degree pivot, and we should choose a zombie film for our podcast, because I wanted to talk about the podcast. So, Real Imagined Futures is a podcast I started back in 2018, and now Stuart is my always co-host. Like, incredible. And Stuart, like, because I think I had you on as like a guest at one point, and you were like, cool. What did you think of the concept? Because the concept for the guys in the chat is, it's about what happened to famous movie characters after their stories ended. So when I came to you with this, what were your thoughts about this?
I was like, this will be fun because I know you won't mind us getting into stupid and weird stuff.
Yes.
So that's where all the humour lies for me. So that was excellent. And of course, every single movie character would probably need therapy after dealing with the events of almost any movie. So that's a common thread as well. Yeah.
You know what? Hook is the one I remember the most. We've done 10 episodes, you guys, and we did Hook, and I mean, come on, like, the guy is clearly delusional. He thinks he's Peter Pan. Come on, Stuart, come on. I mean, like, really think about this film for a second. Like, let's think about it. Do you not think perhaps it's like a whole, like, drug hallucination thing? Do you think that's the real movie?
I imagine that, and he drags his kids into it. Reprehensible. There's no hope for this man. Oh, dearie me.
I think we had like Cartoon Lawyer Mouse appeared at some...
Yeah. Was Cartoon Lawyer Mouse from that episode or another one? I can't remember where Cartoon Lawyer Mouse was born.
This is the thing about Real Imagined Futures, because we end up going into weird... We started with Beetlejuice, and then we tried to have... What's his name? Odo, or what's his name?
Otho, was it?
Yeah.
Odo, yeah.
Like, we tried to have him in almost every single one. But it's like the Beetlejuice crossover, and then we had Time Cop, where Tim E. Cop is the son of Time Cop, which is incredible. Otho, that's it, Otho. It's Otho. Oh my god. Okay, are there any films, though, Stuart, that you think we should do that will really be difficult for us? That will really be hard?
Oh god. Any film where everyone dies at the end, I suppose.
Oh.
Anything where the world ends. Yeah, if actually any film where the world explodes or something at the end.
What?
There are a few.
I can't think of films where the world explodes. My brain's gone blank.
I remember watching one. I cannot for the life of me remember what it was called. It was probably 20 years ago now. It's really depressing. It was all about sort of people thinking the world was going to end and how society collapsed in the end. The world did end.
Should we try? Somebody said Cabin in the Woods, Save the Green Planet. John dies at the end.
Ooh,
these are really good suggestions. Yeah. You know what? I reckon Stuart and I think we could have a stab at some of those.
Oh, we should. We should do Jean Rollins' Iron Rose, where nothing happens.
Yeah,
we just say whatever we want.
I think we should try and challenge ourselves. Let's swap some of our list out, because I sent you a list, right? Should we really challenge ourselves and just really go there?
Oh, we should. The last like 2 of the season should just be absolutely, as difficult as possible, off the wall nonsense.
Yes. Okay. You know what? Should we ask people on Twitter? I think we should ask everyone on Twitter for the most difficult, and we'll choose one, and then we'll do it. I think we should do that. I'm really up for the challenge, because I reckon we have gone so messed up that I don't think it's a challenge. I accept it.
We can do this. We can do it. Easily.
I'm
going to lie and sound confident.
I'm ready. And speaking of podcasts and things, Video Nasties. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Oh,
Is
man.
that coming
I've been
out
meaning
soon?
to get this. I've been doing research for this podcast for what seems like 300 years now. But I'm desperate to go through. Well, I've kind of already started, but to go through and basically just do one episode, fairly short episodes, don't want anything more than 30 minutes. I'm going to keep this one short. And I just want to go through and watch every Video Nasty. Which, if you're not familiar, chat humans, basically in the early 80s there was a sort of moral furore all about videos evil and corrupting everyone's minds, ban this sick filth, and they did start to sort of effectively ban them, and you could be prosecuted for distributing certain films and that. And there is a list, this 3-section list, of which sections 1 and 2 are generally referred to as the Video Nasties, and section 3 is a bit depending who you talk to, really. But I really want to go through all of these 76 films, and possibly the ones beyond, and just watch them, give a quick description, say what I actually think of them, because things have changed so much, and also some of the reasons for them being banned were such nonsense in the first place. So, I mean, people are fairly sure a couple of them are just because they got it confused with a different film with a similar title and things like this. It's absolutely mad. But what kicked it off for me was years ago, I went into Poundland. Unbelievable, I know. And went in at Halloween. They had a copy of... Yes. It's true. Honest.
I love it.
And they had a copy of Abel Ferrara's Driller Killer, which when I was at school, that was like, the worst thing ever. And, you could be immediately arrested and shot in the face for owning a copy and all the sort of playground stuff. But I thought, oh my God, they've got it in Poundland. And I looked at it and it said uncut version. I was like, oh my God, how things have changed. But what really cemented it was I looked at the DVD next to it, and that was Driller Killer, the extended cut. So this is longer than the one they banned. Yeah, I thought, God, things have changed so much, and that sort of idea festered for about 20 years. And I really want to get started on that this year. Every time I try, something happens and gets in the way. But this year.
Tell me about it, man. Tell me about it. Can I want to ask you something. We're both creative people. We like doing projects and things and collaborations and stuff. Like, how hard or easy do you find it from conception to realization to, sticking it out there in the world? Do you find it as someone who likes to do these kind of things? Because I tend to bite off more than I can chew, and then I get very nervous. Are you like that?
Yeah, I know that feeling. I felt more like that in the early days, I suppose, because I've just... Yeah, because when you do something the second time, it's sort of less of a thing, isn't it, I suppose.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Yeah, it does big time depend on the sort of project. I mean, the films are always terrifying because there's so much to go wrong. They're so expensive. And if it just comes out and it's, I don't know, people don't like it, it's not very good, it's like, oh, that was like 2 years of work. Oh dear, that would be horrifying. So thank God we haven't done anything nobody liked yet. Fingers crossed we never do. Whereas there are sort of smaller things you do sometimes which are a bit more personal, something you'll do entirely off your own back, and they can be a bit more nerve-wracking when they go out as well.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean by that kind of, this is quite personal to me, I hope people like it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, when's the last time you felt like that? Because I'm about to launch something in the next 7 days that's extremely personal. It's good, and I'm going to ask you to be on it as well. It's a podcast, and I'll talk about it in a second. But before I do, I want to ask you, when was the last time you felt like that, where it was like, this is really quite personal to me, this is something that's me?
I haven't done much of that recently. I mean, I suppose weirdly it was a Patreon video, which was basically 5 weird things that I remembered from television as a kid that just stuck in my head all these years, just tiny little random things. I was talking about it with somebody years ago, and I realised how these tiny things can stick in your head even though they're of absolutely no consequence, and you have such a exact memory of it, you know. So I did this sort of quite long video delving into these things and showing what they were. I was quite very pleased with it, actually, the way it came out, and I'm pretty sure people liked it. But the problem with Patreon is it's a very low engagement format, in the sense, or low engagement platform, sorry, in the sense that people don't really tend to watch the videos you put up there. They pay for them, but like less than half will generally watch them, no matter what it is. So I'm never quite sure how that one really went down. I think the people who watched it seemed to enjoy it, so that's the main thing. And it's not something I could put up anywhere else because it's absolutely riddled with copyrighted content, so you couldn't just put it up on YouTube or something. You'd get annihilated.
I want to see this now. But you know what? Like, that's the thing about creating. I think if you're not putting a little piece of yourself out there, I don't know, it doesn't feel... I don't know, you want to feel like a little bit of you is going out. I don't know, I can't even explain why. So I feel it is important. It's cathartic, in fact.
I think that's why we are driven to create in the first place, to an extent, isn't it? I mean, imagine having to do some sort of massively corporate advertising job. There's nothing of you in it whatsoever. It'd be sort of...
Oh my God, I couldn't. And I've done corporate jobs. I've worked for corporate companies in the past, and it is really soul destroying because you feel like you're contributing to a part of society that helps society run in a sense, but it doesn't help it in a spiritual way, if you know what I mean. It's not contributing in the right way. And so when you put a little part of yourself out there that's spiritual, that's yourself, that's your innards, that feels like it's making more of a difference, even if only 5 people see it instead of 5,000. That feels more important, and that feels more meaningful, and that's why you do it again and again and again and again. And it's called madness as well. It's like a form of madness.
But I mean, if you're driven to create and do such things, you have to, in some way, shape or form, because if you don't, you will get frustrated and ill. You know, everybody has to have the creative hobby who are driven to do such things, and maybe it is putting parts of yourself out there. I think that is. There's always got to be a big part of you in any creative project, even if. I mean, I've always been lucky in that advertising we've done has always been genuinely sort of led by us, so we could be creative around it and do stuff. So I've been lucky to never have to actually put a lot of time and effort into something creative that is just like, here is a picture of some coffee, please buy the coffee.
Exactly. And I think that's like really, it's super important for everyone out there. It's like, do something in life at least once where you feel like you've put a little bit, your piece of your soul, a little bit of yourself out there, you know. Speaking of which, I will absolutely be asking you to be part of my Hot Pod Time Machine podcast. Yes. It's well, it was supposed to go out on Thursday, but there's been problems with Acast. But it was supposed to go out on Thursday, which is 40 weeks till my 40th. Ooh. Exactly 40 weeks till my 40th. And I'm going to release an episode every single week with a guest. Where we talk about a decision that they made in the past that changed the trajectory of their present and future. So,
blimey.
So you can think about that and ruminate on that now. And then when I email you and go, right, it's time,
You got 5 minutes. Go on Discord now.
Time. I have been called. I have been called.
So the horn of Gondor has been blown.
Exactly. For Gondor. But yeah, I will ask you to be on that at some point for sure.
No, well up for that, yeah.
But guys, like, you have to go follow Stuart on Twitch, of course. When are you streaming again on Twitch, Stuart? When are you streaming?
We are next up. What is today? I can't even make
Friday.
track of the days. It's Friday, isn't it? Yes. Phew. Be up again on Sunday, 8:30 UK time.
Guys, go make sure you follow Stuart on mods. Please do a little shout out on Twitch, and also it's just Ashens on Twitter.
It is ASHENS. Yep. And if you Google it, you can find all the YouTube stuff and everything else I've ever done, even if I don't want you to know about it, because that's how Google works.
Everything Ashens. He's very on brand. Stuart, thank you for taking the time out to come speak to me, and I'll be speaking to you very soon for sure.
Not at all. Thanks for inviting us on.
Yay.
Take care.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye. We love a bit of Ashens around here. We bloody love a bit of Ashens around here. We bloody love a bit of Ashens, so we do. Guys, we've come to the end of the show, but it's not the end of the stream. No. We have got some music next, but I would like to say this to everybody. Thank you very much. This is season 3 of A Wee Chat. Season 3. Season 3. Thank you very, very much for watching all of A Wee Chat. Without you guys, we wouldn't bloody have a stage show, a live stage show. Like, that's incredible to me. I'm pitching that to American Comic Cons. We might actually go wee global, you guys. Wee global. For real. They always say that art imitates life, and I'm telling you, Wee Global's coming. Can we spam some Wee Global emotes in the chat? So I'm very excited about 2023. Thank you very much to Mark and James, which is absolutely, I mean, it's amazing. I love working with them. They are so great. I love those boys so much. They're great. So please go follow Nowalls. I'm streaming there on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Please go follow Ashens. But now we have a house band that are performing every single week. Well, not every week because we're not here every week technically. We're taking a week off next week. But anyway, every time we're on air, they're going to be here. Guys, this is MamajoeVramajoe, our new house band. Please go follow them as well. Shout out in the chat, please, for MamajoeVramajoe. We have Bump coming up next. Don't go anywhere. More cool stuff coming up. Thank you very much, everyone. Love you very much. Yes, season 3, episode 1. Let's go.
Well, would you look at that? Well, hello.
Thank you, Claire, for having us as your house band. We are broadcasting from our houseboat on our purple planet.
That's absolutely correct.
And we'd like to show you our amazing bathroom that we have in our house.
Yeah, welcome to our bathroom.
In our house.
You can really tell the quality of a place by the quality of its bathroom. Everyone knows.
Here we are, and it's got bubbles.
It's a bubbly bathroom.
It's a bubbly bathroom. So
ideal. But this is Mama Joe, by the way.
Hi, I'm Mama Joe.
I'm Vramajoe, and you're on watching Wee Claire.
Yes,
she's Claire it up.
And we have a special guest to sing you this next song.
We're not going to sing the next one.
Who has required a very, very large budget to be here, and we are so happy they're here. Let's welcome.
So Claire really shelled out for this, so show some
welcome.
support for Claire. She should get paid more, right, Mama Joe?
Yes, Claire needs to get paid more
Claire
because
needs to get paid way more.
Ducky.
Whoa. Do you want me to sing a song or something?
Yes.
I require a huge budget, by the way.
I know Claire's got you.
Oh yeah, Claire really shelled out. That's right. Thanks, Claire. Thanks for shelling out. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl. She's definitely a dog. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but I know that she's I want to tell her that I love her, but I gotta get a belly full of wine. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but you know that she's a duck, and I'm gonna tell her. I think that Her Majesty's in denial.
Thank you. Do you have anything else to say?
I think that also me and Claire should both get paid a lot more.
Yes, I agree.
Especially me and Claire.
She should get paid more. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
That was our duck. And I've been Mama Joe, and this is Ramajoe.
Yes, and we do, in fact, believe that Claire should get paid a lot more.
Praise.